my mother told me, she said, you never hit a man where he's weak. Never. It could be true, it could be real, but you don't hit him where he's weak because it'll turn around on you. You can get him to do what you need him to do, but you never hit a man where he's weak because they never forget it. It lives with them. And so I know what his weaknesses are. He don't know I know they're there. Because I don't mention them, don't talk about them, and I don't, now I talk about my weaknesses all day long. But he.
How do you know? How do you learn about a man's weaknesses?
Well, I done been with the brother 34 years. I know where he's weak. I do. I know what bothers him. I know what he doesn't like. I know, like, he never asked me to put up Christmas lights. And I didn't for years because I'm not a celebratory person. And then I saw him go into somebody's house, and he was like, wow, with the Christmas decorations. I said, this brother likes the Christmas decorations. He ain't going to ask me to do it. He ain't going to say we need to do this. So the next year, I went all out. Brother loved it.
Wow.
You watch him. You pay attention. I love this guy. What's he doing? What makes him smile? Oh, that makes him smile. Let me go over home and do that. So, and like this year, I got all new Christmas stuff. I wrap all the presents in coordinated colors because he likes it. He never asked for it, but I paid attention and I gave it to him.
Got to be present.
Present, looking, and willing to learn. And I don't expect our marriage to go well. I work my marriage like a job every day. It's the most important job I got. Well, mother, maybe, but it's the most important job I got. And you know how much time you guys put into this, don't you?
Right.
The light, you got the right light. You ain't got the almost right light.
Right.
And if the light goes out, you pay attention to it.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't do that in their relationship. They don't like, what can I do today? How's he feeling? What's going on? Is he happy? Is he struggling? If he's struggling, I don't want to talk to him about his struggle, but I'm going to A, do something to make it easier, or B, do something, because you men are cool. This is what I like about y'all. Y'all can be struggling over here, but if you show him a good time over there, he can put that down for a second and just have the fun.
Absolutely.
I can't do that. He can't distract me. If I got a problem, this brother got to sit down and talk to me about it. He got to listen to the whole thing. But you learn, and it's a job, and you work that job. And when you work a job well, that job pays well.
Treat the marriage like a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And then when you work well, it pays well. I like that.
That's a bar right there. Yeah. And you full of them.
I'm full of it.
Let me ask you this one here too, Judge Lynn, because I'm sure what you've seen a lot of, because first of all, divorce court was just always in the house, just kind of playing. And a lot of things I would always hear on many shows was infidelity, right? That happens. That's just a part of nature with being in a relationship for years, right? I want to know how should we handle that issue, right? Because being that infidelity realistically it's a common issue in relationships. It's a very common issue. And I mean, we just can't be instructing people to just go about divorcing every time infidelity comes up in a relationship, because we're going to continue to have the problems that we have now. How should we be handling infidelity as it arrives in our relationships?
That's a very good question, that the answer to which I'm not sure I am of the proper age to give. Back in the day, when my parents were raising us and stuff, there was a phrase known as, yeah, he tips a little. And the thing was, they were all married. If you were a dude in the 50s living in that house, you were badass. You know what I mean? You were. Right. No retiring cat made it out there. And every once in a while, and it was common knowledge amongst the women, and they kind of let it happen until they stop. Doesn't happen a lot. And the dudes kind of knew, I can tip a little, but I don't do nothing disrespectful. I don't get caught. Now, these days, that wouldn't sell. Women ain't going to do that no more.
Right.
That just wouldn't sell. But they were fighting so many fights in the 50s, in the 60s, that they had to stay together. They had to make it work. And y'all want so much more sex than we do. I don't know. Maybe it's different now. Young women saying they like the one.
That's what they're saying.
I don't believe
it either. I think it's emotional baggage and the stress that's causing them to say stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't believe that. If my husband were to ever have cheated, I don't think I would have left. We would have had issues. We would have gone to a counselor. But I can't let. Now, if he's just a repeater, just a traveler, he's just screwing everything that happens to walk by,
right.
He got to go bye-bye.
Right.
But he makes a mistake, I would hope that I was woman enough to weigh it. Not say it's okay, but get through it. When the situation is reversed, y'all never get over it.
Oh, yeah.
But that's just how y'all are. But y'all never get over it, and I know that. So I don't do nothing. You know what I mean? I don't care how fine you are or whatever, and I'm away from him for months. I got something so good. Ain't no sex. I don't care how you can rock it. Will get me to endanger this beautiful thing I got over here. Can't do it.
Now, they also say in that same conversation, because, you hear this conversation all the time. They say, men cheat, it's not emotions involved. When women cheat, it's always emotional. That's why women cheating is worse than men. Do you think there's any truth to that, or?
Some. I mean, it's some. We want to talk. I always talk on TV about, men in marriages. Talk, I want more sex. I want more sex. I want more sex. And she ought to do it. And she ought to do it. I said, nah, wait a minute now. I said, all day foreplay takes 5 minutes. Call her once on the job. Didn't have to call her. Hey, baby, thinking about you. Come home, kiss her on the neck, lick her.
Yeah.
And then they get behind her, shake her butt, and ask her what happened. You're going to get laid. Now.
That takes work.
That takes work. But it's only 5 minutes worth.
That's true.
It's not that much. And we want to be heard. We want you to think we're wonderful. And if you give us that, we'll give you more. Because we just love you. You know what I mean? This guy. And when we start seeing as you treat me any old way all day long, and then you expect me to join my body with yours because it's my job, brother, please. Just 5 minutes. I ain't worth that. So, the sex drives are different. I mean, he's always wanted more than I have. But we figured it out how to, and he knows what makes me feel warm and fuzzy. You make me feel warm and fuzzy, I'll make you feel warm and fuzzy.